Could the Minnesota Vikings be big trouble this Sunday if this happens? I'll explain what that is here in a second, but we also got a mailbag on the second half of today's show where I answer questions from all of our fans here at Vikings Now. But with the game this Sunday, Vikings, back-to-back losses. If you guys want the Vikes to beat the Colts, go spam Skull down below in the comment section. I want it to look like U.S. Bank Stadium this Sunday night when they blow that Gallahorn. So spam those skulls down below in the comment section. All right, so the Vikings are in big trouble if Shane Steichen cooks Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell does not adjust. We'll start off with the Shane Steichen cooking Brian Flores thought here real quick, because if you look at the past 2 weeks, Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, they have cooked Brian Flores, and they have laid out the blueprint on how to attack this Vikings defense. And Shane Steichen, he's a great offensive mind. He is one of the better offensive minds in the National Football League. So I think Flores is going to adjust. He's going to understand, especially with Flacco in there. He's just a better quarterback in terms of running an offense compared to Anthony Richardson. So I'm also concerned about that. But I will say this. I think the biggest, get back in this game is Blake Cashman being back. It's not official just yet. It might be when you guys are seeing this video, but we'll wait and see, but people are optimistic in the Vikings organization about him playing this Sunday, and I think that'll be huge. And I'm not comparing Cashman to Fred Warner, but I think the impact that he has on this Vikings defense is very similar. Like him wearing the green dot, he's an elite communicator, and I think I just think Cashman, I think we'll feel his impact. And obviously, Rams and Lions have way better offenses than the Indianapolis Colts, but I think Cashman being back should be able to get this Vikings defense back on track. And, I do want to talk about Patrick Jones here real quick. He came out the gates hot. He had 5 sacks in three games, but he has been almost unplayable over the past couple of weeks. And it gets me back to this where it's like the Vikings have struggled so much to get pressure without the scheme, allowing them to get pressure. Like PFF has their edge group ranked at 26th in the NFL right now. That's just not good enough. And I think it gets back to Dallas Turner. I think he should play. I think he will play a lot. I mean, even seeing Jared Verse cook the Minnesota Vikings last Thursday, I'm sure they're looking at that and saying, man, we're not getting much from Patrick Jones the last couple of weeks. Let's go throw in, Dallas Turner, see if he can get any sort of production here. But, I definitely think Cashman being back and, is so key for this defense. But talking about Kevin O'Connell. KOC, I think this is your moment Sunday night. I think this is going to be the conversation on Monday will be how good of a head coach and how good of a game Kevin O'Connell called. Because the Vikings offensive ranks over the past couple of weeks have tanked. These were all in the top 10 about a couple of weeks ago. But the offense has struggled. And they're 7th in points per game. But if you take away the 3 defensive touchdowns, they're about middle of the pack. They're an okay offense. And with the defense taking a step back, that's a big reason why this team has lost the past 2 games. But here's how they shake out right now. Kevin O'Connell, I think he's going to change it. And there's one game I'm expecting a big game from. I think Sam Darnold's going to destroy the Colts defense. And, we see all these stats coming out that he is starting to hold on the ball too much. He holds on the ball more than any other quarterback in the league. He has the highest sack percentage per dropback at 10% this season. That's not a good stat, but still the raw numbers look great. I mean, 1,600 yards, 14 tuds, the 5 picks, 107.2 quarterback rating. That's great stuff from Darnold. Even the completion percentage, a career high for him. I think he's going to get back on track. I think he's going to find Jordan Addison a whole lot this weekend. I think it's going to be hopefully fireworks for the Vikings offense. But I'll ask you guys this. Grade Kevin O'Connell, not as a head coach, but as a play caller. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F down below in the comment section. As a play caller, I'd probably go B to B+, but let me know what you guys have to say down below. Now, I do want to give a massive shout-out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time. If you guys download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS, you guys will get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Now, Game Time has an awesome new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Now, my favorite feature of the Game Time app is the views from your seat feature that gets you a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. First question of our mailbag coming in from Lefty. Shout out to you. Saying, need a big boy up the middle of the defensive line to save the season, TBH. I agree with you. Obviously Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons are like the main guys everybody talks about, but I also think a guy like BJ Hill could be a good option for the Vikings if you don't want to give up like a first-round pick. But, I've liked what I've seen from Harrison Phillips, Jonathan Bullard so far this season. But, I agree. If you look at the weaknesses on this group, that defensive line is definitely something that they need to address. And if they don't address it at the deadline, I fully expect them to address it during free agency or the NFL draft next season. For Roger Bong, next question. Shout out to you saying, why would we spend on a Cam Robinson if we're not going all in on the season? Also, how big is having Hawk and Cash back? Believe. Love that belief part right there, Raj. But, I don't think the Cam Robinson move was necessarily an all-in move for this season. I think that move was just, the Vikings front office telling these players in the locker room saying, like, hey, we are still a very, very good football team. We are going to, not punt on this season. And clearly they didn't have faith in Brandell moving the left tackle or whatever their makeshift plan was going to be. Also about having Hawk and Cashman back. First off on Hawk, I think that's going to finally have Kevin O'Connell implement that quick pass game. Maybe that's why we haven't seen it this season. Maybe Hawkinson is the key missing piece to that. In terms of Cashman, it's going to be huge. Him wearing the green dot, he allows Ivan Pace to play more freely. Like, we've talked about it a lot. But I think Cashman back, we're going to see this Vikings defense, I think, get back to them old selves. And also leads right into this from Skolger. PA, Paul Allen, play-by-play guy, was critical of pace and coverage on his show today. He had a couple of bad reps. Like, the one that pops to mind is when Kyron Williams, running back for the Rams, it was on the first drive of the game. He kind of snuck in the left tackle. He faked the out route, cut it into a Texas route, and Ivan Pace was about 5 yards away from him. He has definitely struggled. So, appreciate you tuning in. But, Pace, I just don't think that's his strong suit. And we knew that. He's a 5'11 linebacker. He's not going to be the best guy in coverage, but he should be better than what he has put on tape over the last couple of weeks. But Rocky coming in saying, I'm worried about the Colts. I understand that. Like, Colts are a good football team. Their 4-4 record, realistically should be like 6-2. But I also do believe now with like Joe Flacco being in there, it gives them a way better chance to win this football game. If this was Anthony Richardson, I would be calling the Vikings defense out saying you should not allow a touchdown in this game. Like, that's how bad Richardson's been. But I totally hear you. The Colts are 4-4, have lost all 4 of their games by a combined 14 points. So, this is definitely not a game where you just want to roll over and just say, oh, we're going to get a win. It's the Colts coming to town. This is a good football team. But also with the Vikings coming off back-to-back losses, I think they're going to come out fired up. Sunday Night Football, they're in your own building. Do you really want to get embarrassed in a primetime game where you drop the 5-3? And I'll say this, if the Vikings lose this game, the ceiling's falling down. Like, it would be a disaster loss for Minnesota, but, I think they're going to win. I got the Vikes winning 34-13. Skolger saying, why isn't Dallas Turner playing? That's a question all of us Vikings fans have. That's a question I have. I don't get it. And I think a little bit of it was, like, Patrick Jones. He had, like, 5 sacks throughout the first 3 games. Like, everybody was saying, oh, is this the Patrick Jones breakout time? But I kept saying, like, these are scheme sacks he's getting. It's not like he's just lined up over a tackle and he's making an incredible move getting home to the quarterback. And I'm not saying Dallas Turner has shown that on tape yet, but hey, you traded up for this guy. You want him to be an impact player right away, and you also want him to develop. Get him on the football field. Why isn't he playing? I don't know. I don't have a good answer, but I'm hoping he will be out there this Sunday a whole lot more than he's been in the past couple of weeks. But Blake Wyrie coming in saying, do you know if we're going to start Ingram or Reisner? I hope it's Reisner. Ed Ingram's, I mean, he has really struggled this year, but I think Reisner, I think he's going to play well at that right guard spot once he's in there. Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be Reisner. I think the Vikings are done with that Ingram experience, so that's what I'll say for that one. Skull Nation saying, what's your confidence level in the Vikings beating the Colts? I'm at a 10 out of 10. I think they're going to get a win. I think them, coming off the 2 losses, like, you're going to be a motivated football team. You're a more talented football team. And, yeah, Steichen's a good head coach, but I think Kevin O'Connell's better. I think you got better quarterback in Darnold over Flacco. You got better weapons on the outside, even though the Colts have sneaky good weapons like Pittman, Alec Pierce, Adonai Mitchell. I also have another guy that I'm sleeping on, but they have a ton of good weapons over there, like Jonathan Taylor. They have a good running back as well, great offensive line, great play caller. I mean, it will be a good test for this Vikings defense, but I think they'll play well, so that's why I got my confidence level at a 10. But Aaron Jones, burner account, saying, what's your biggest key to victory versus the Colts? It's got to be win the turnover battle, right? I mean, could be your biggest key to victory every week, but yeah, I'll say that. I'll say the Vikes got to win the turnover battle as my biggest key to victory for this football team heading into the week. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, just give me a skull down below in the comment section. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be live an hour before kickoff this Sunday, so tune into that as well. And also, I'm on Twitter, at Pat Sieps. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you guys next time. As always, Skull Vikes.